How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be continuing my Sharks of Summer series. Sharks of Summer is a series I do around here where once a week during the summer I take a look at a shark movie, and this week we're going to be looking at Ouija Shark. This is from 2020, directed by Scott Patrick, and stars Zoe Towne, Robin Hodge, and Christina Roman. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, shark movies have been kind of going nuts lately. Anything and everything is crossing paths with sharks. We get Jurassic Shark, which is actually the same director, Raiders of the Lost Shark, Franken Shark. Ever since Sharknado, people want a good cheesy shark movie. And then we also have the Ouija franchise. The two big movies are actually made by Hasbro, and for a long time they tried to hold the copyright onto the word Ouija. It turns out they couldn't though, and ever since those movies, people have been going nuts with Ouija movies as well. So it only makes sense to cross the Ouija movies with the shark movies and maybe make some cheesy little movie. Does it pan out though? No, it absolutely doesn't. Sadly, this is one of the more lazy and forgettable shark movies. Like, for real, I just watched it to do this review, and I feel like I'm struggling to hold it in my memory just to get this video out. Honestly, not much happens. It's basically we either talk in the woods or we hang out by the pool in our bikinis and talk. And so much of it is just a ghost shark coming out of a Ouija board. Why, that's just so crazy. And just, yeah, not much really happens in this movie. And the thing is, I got to this one point in the film. There's a couple in the woods and the Ouija shark chases them, and it goes after the guy first, and the girl says, "Oh good, it's going after him and not me," or something along those lines. And I realized, oh, this is supposed to be a comedy. And for real, there's a bunch of little punchlines, and the movie thinks just because it is doing a movie about a ghost shark coming out of a Ouija board, it thinks that it automatically makes it like the funniest thing ever or something. But no, you have to actually do something with your concept. You have to actually be funny. And to realize this movie thought it could just cash in on its concept and then coast through the whole thing, that probably explains a lot. All the acting in here is that sort of line reading instead of acting. You can tell the actors are trying to emote a little bit, but everything feels so stiff, and it's hard to engage with the plot, and it's hard to get with the jokes. And same with the cinematography, it's so stiff. It's very much just plop the camera down and get it in the can. The whole movie is stiff and awkward, not funny, not engaging, and ultimately not much happens. It is so super forgettable. I will say, towards the end of the movie, this movie's like 81 or so minutes long. Towards the end of the movie, there's about 2 minutes of decent cheese in here, and that's pretty much it. Is it worth watching the whole movie for the 2 minutes of okay cheesiness? No, not really. If you guys manage to find, say, a clip selection on YouTube, or maybe some funny channel talking about it, there's probably not much more to this movie worth checking out outside of that. So hopefully you guys can find a good clip compilation, because yeah, this is definitely not worth checking out. Sorry about that. But in order to analyze it further, what's the movie about? I'm not gonna do any major spoilers, and I'll try not to ruin anything important, but from here on out, let's take a bit of a deeper dive. We open up with a group of girls who are hanging out in a house by the lake. However, one of them accidentally goes to the lake first, and when she's by herself, she finds a mysterious driftwood Ouija board that kind of washes up against her legs. And yeah, it's supposed to be, I guess because it's a shark Ouija board, it's supposed to look like driftwood. It's much too clean and new looking, and the jagged edges totally feel feel manufactured. It's also missing its planchette, but don't worry, that will just pop into existence later. Whatever. She meets her friends at the house, and they just proceed to hang out in their bikinis and chit-chat, and one of the girls sees a guy next door washing his car, and will just run off with him and basically exit the movie for most of the runtime. Don't really know why that character was there, but okay, bye, see you later. Well, the girls will play with the Ouija board, and I think the Ouija board sequence is a very good example of how bad this movie can be. First of all, they play with it outside in like broad daylight. The most scary time of day is like around noon, I guess. The cameraman will not kneel down and get eye-level shots with them, so the whole thing is shot with like a bird's eye perspective. Again, feels very lazy. And when they find the planchette, which I don't know where they found it, they just pulled it out of nowhere, it's this heart-shaped piece of wood without a hole in it, but it's also way too freaking big, and there's a lot of girls and they're all putting their hands on it, and in turn, I can't see the letters clearly because there's just so much stuff in front of the board, but it doesn't really matter because the shark just says, I think it's something like hungry, hungry, kill. Yeah, it turns out a conversation with the shark isn't actually all that interesting. Whatever, they've unleashed the shark spirit, and now it's going to go around and kill people. Now, I will say the shark spirit is like a puppet, and they comped it in clear over the footage, and I mean, that's better than like a bad digital shark, but it still has a distinct lack of personality. They can't get any real great shot with it, and when it kills people, it just kind of makes them disappear, like it will touch them and then they'll just be gone. A super lame 1960s editing effect, just the people disappear. So yeah, don't look for any good kills or sequences in this movie. But of course we have to pad out the runtime, so get ready for like random couple in the woods, which it had been so long since I'd seen the car wash couple, I thought maybe that was them, but no, just randos who are gonna get killed. There's a random drunken sheriff's deputy that feels like he's in a whole other movie. He'll pad out the runtime a little bit, why not? And yeah, so much of this movie, I would say the middle of the movie because that's what I'm talking about now, but honestly the beginning too, it's just one of those what are we even doing movies. It just kind of knows the train tracks it's supposed to follow and mindlessly goes over them without giving it much thought at all. When the plot does start to come in a little bit, we get things like one of the girls' dads who instantly takes this super seriously, so that's kind of funny. He's probably honestly one of the more entertaining actors in this movie, not that he's great, but at least something's happening with him. And when we get towards the end, again, there is just a tiny little bit of good, decent cheese at the end here. It does finally swing for the fences, but does that few minutes at the end make the whole thing worth it? Sadly, I don't think so. I know they made a second one. I don't know when I'll get around to watching it, but I sure hope it has a previously on at the opening because I'm not going to remember too terribly much of this too far from now. This is one of the more forgettable shark movies. Not much goes on here and I can't recommend it really. Wish it was better though, but whatever, it is what it is. Anyway though, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Sharks of Summer playlist. If you guys want to see this series from the beginning, feel free to click right here and see more. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.